Hello and welcome to our first ever ADS Creative Solutions podcast, Insights from the Shed. Just to be clear, the podcast isn't about gardening or gardening tools. We are a marketing, design and digital agency based at the Planing Shed at the Blenheim Palace Sawmills in Oxfordshire, hence the reference to the shed. Our regular podcast will provide, we hope, useful insights on all things marketing, design and digital and real life stories from an advertising agency. Over time, from feedback and development, we will either go it alone or we will invite industry guests to help generate insightful conversations. I'm your host, Sally Jeans, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Kelly and Ben, both from ADS. So I'll hand over to those guys and they can introduce themselves.
Thanks, Sally. I'm Kelly, the Managing Director of ADS and hopefully a regular on our new podcast.
Yeah, and I'm Ben. I head up the digital team here at ADS, and this feels very foreign and strange for now, but hopefully over time we'll all get a bit more used to it. So
yeah, thanks both. Likewise. I feel a bit nervous about our first podcast. How are you both feeling about it?
I feel like I'm in a surreal world, really, surrounded by light boxes and mics, but I'm sure we'll get used to it.
Yeah, no, it's very foreign. Like I say, I'm happily sit in a meeting with clients and chat all day, but this feels cameras, lights. It's a bit of a different world for us, but like I say, hopefully it's a place where we can just share our thoughts and all things that are going on, and all things here, all things in marketing, all things in digital, and just everything really.
Excellent. It's really interesting. I was listening to a podcast the other day that had done over 100 episodes, and they both said that they would never listen to their first 10 because they said they sounded dreadful. So I'm confident by podcast number 11 we will be experts.
Let's hope so.
Anyway, so just to get the ball rolling then. So, what made you want to start podcast? What made you think about that, the way to go?
I think just within the industry, they're becoming more and more popular. And as an agency, as you say, it's really important for us to kind of like be ahead of the game as well. So it makes sense for us to start our own. And as you say, share our insights with not just clients, but anyone who's, willing to listen.
Yeah, I think we've been toying with the idea for a long time now. And it's, we sit and we have our weekly catch-ups and we all chat through and we come up with ideas and talk about what's going on or what we've seen in social that week. And we don't take that conversation any further than that. So I think now we're trying to really push our own content, push our blog content, our social media content. And podcast was kind of a natural progression for that, I guess. So.
Plus, I think it's another one of those when the gadgets look great and we're like, let's get the gadgets, let's get the equipment. We look great, but we actually have, need to make the most of them now.
Yes. So explain ADS Creative Solutions. So I obviously work for ADS Creative Solutions, so I'm going to be asking some silly questions so that not necessarily silly, but questions that perhaps our audience perhaps don't know. So obviously, ADS Creative Solutions is a full service agency. So what does that actually mean? What makes us different from some other agencies that are just perhaps do websites, etc.? So, what stands us out from others?
So as a full service advertising, design and marketing agency, we have a permanent in-house team. So we've got a digital team who look after websites, social media, photography, videography, content, pay-per-click, SEO, all dealt with by our digital team. We have a graphic design team, so anything from printed collateral, point of sale, promotional merchandise, anything you see really that's printed or design collateral, that's all in-house. And then we have an account management team who are responsible for media planning, media buying, strategy, integrated campaigns, client management, client engagement, all under one roof. So for any of our clients, they just have one point of contact and we can literally deal with everything across the board for all things marketing, design, digital.
Yeah. And I think, like I say, it doesn't just make it easy from a client's from a perspective of you talk to one person and get everything done. But I think it's good for us because we look at the whole picture. Whether we're looking at a website or a social media campaign, it's how that ties in. And how does that tie into what we're doing in print? How does it tie into what we're doing in the digital world, and what does the website landing page look like? So it's having all that expertise under one roof. It just means not only can we all bounce ideas off each other, but we can generate what I think are more successful campaigns.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, previous to this role, I was on the other side. So I was working in event management, and then I had to use one company to do, the website. I used another company for something else. And it then becomes, you just have to have so many different people you need to contact. So I think that makes it a lot easier I believe, to just have it all under one roof. But I'm going to say that, aren't I? Because obviously I work here now. So saying that then, so how's the last 12 months affected you guys? Because obviously, we all know we don't want to talk about the pandemic, but we may as well be honest and put it out there. How's that affected, ADS?
I think to begin with, obviously, it's a shock and you don't know what to expect from, the outcome of it. But I think that's really where the full service has kicked in. So obviously on the advertising side of things, so media planning, media buy-in, understandably, clients stopped all of that. But then on the digital side of things, so with web builds, with social media, with digital advertising, that really rocketed. And I think that's where, even with clients who already had sites with us, they realised they needed e-commerce elements, where they were maybe having traditional media spend but still needing to spend. They looked at additional options of digital advertising, streaming, podcasting, and that has been a real benefit to us.
Yeah, it's definitely something we've been saying internally for a long time, is that we knew that focus would come towards digital a lot more. We just never really foresaw this coming and speeding it up as quickly as it did. But yeah, I think for us, from a digital perspective, we've probably been putting out probably more work than maybe we've ever done. I think the website content and the actual digital content we've been putting out is probably better than we've ever done as well. So I think it's we were in a very lucky position, and maybe it was lucky, maybe it was just coincidence, or maybe we kind of saw something like this being the case. But we had procedures and processes in place quite early to be able to mean that the whole team could pick up and work remotely, that we didn't really lose any of what we could do. I mean, the biggest loss was the fact that we weren't sat in the same room. We couldn't bounce off each other. We couldn't have those conversations we normally do. So.
Yeah, I think it's always a challenge, isn't it, for some of the team that, we're working from their desk, their kitchen desk, and, it's quite difficult, isn't it, really? But
I think also with our kind of client spread as well, because we're not really limited to any industry or sector. Some of the businesses that we look after, luckily, continued throughout the pandemic, and they still obviously needed to operate as normal. So that was really beneficial to us as well.
Yeah. So have you got everyone back now? Is everyone back working? Are we all?
Yeah. So we have everyone back. Most people in the office.
Yeah.
A couple still working from home, but yeah, it's good to have everyone back in the office.
Yeah. No, it's nice to be in the environment again, because like I say, you do. You can jump on a Teams call or a Zoom call and chat, but you do lose that sort of being able to talk to people and just being able to, even if it's just something as simple as chatting about the football at the weekend. It's it's a nice way to start off your week on a Monday. It's those little sort of, I guess, camaraderie bits that you miss.
Yeah. Instead of actually seeing someone's bedroom and seeing what they've got in the background of their bedroom and having to tidy up all the time. So
yeah, well, a year later, I still didn't quite get used to welcoming all these clients into my bedroom.
Yeah, that's a different conversation. Yeah. And you two have been working all the way through, haven't you? You two haven't stopped at all, and so that's been really good.
Probably for us, to be honest, it's probably been our busiest year ever. Very few holidays, lots of projects that have been needed to be worked on, need to get live and stuff. So yeah, definitely, it's been a busy one.
Yeah, I think we could have, we could have dug down and just found out that it was sorted as an issue, but I think we tried to see it as an opportunity as much as possible. Obviously it's been a terrible time, and then a lot of people aren't in a lucky position like we are. So if we can take advantage of that and bring ourselves out the other side in a much better position, which hopefully with some of the bits we're going to talk about today, we can show that we have. Then I think we kind of took full advantage of that.
What challenges have you actually faced, do you think, in terms of the websites, or in terms of you say that what's been really good has been the digital, the websites, etc. Has there been any particular challenge that you kind of go, well, that's been really tough for us, or on that side of the business?
I think initially probably it's ensuring we had the processes and probably the resources in place to enable everybody to work from home. Yeah. So machinery, equipment, security, access to, the software that we use, the image libraries that we use, bits like that. And luckily, I think once we put that into practice, it did work well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely a bedding in period. It definitely took a bit of time for everyone keeps hearing the phrase "the new normal," but it was. But I think, if that year has taught us anything, that there might be some stumbling blocks to start with. But we've got a good team here that once you put those practices and those processes in place, then it does just become pretty seamless.
Yeah. So I think you guys also were updating our own website, so working on that again. So it's always that's always a challenge in itself, isn't it? It can be about self-critical of your own website, really. But
I think it all ties into that kind of coming out of lockdown, kind of how we can position ourselves in the best way possible. I mean, like as we can see from the new logo and the new look, and it's more of a refresh of what we've got. I think we've been going over 33 years now. I think it's just and I think the reason we have is because we've always been as forward thinking as we possibly can, and we've always been trying to not just keep up with the industry, but be industry leaders and be ahead of the game. So I think especially being that we do websites, we should have a pretty decent website to reflect that. But all round, from our social content, our blogs, hence the new podcast, it's how can we come out of lockdown, like say, and just position ourselves in the best way possible for everything moving forward.
Okay, so obviously there's some exciting things that we've been up to, and I know you've obviously got an important announcement to make as well, which is part of the launch of the podcast as well. So do you want to tell us what else you've been up to?
Yeah, definitely. So as Ben was saying, we just used this opportunity to just have a look at everything we're doing. So, and how and where we want to be positioned as and when we come out of lockdown. So on top of unveiling our new website, new look, we've also got a second office that we're opening. So it's going to be in Dubai.
Wow.
So that's right, Dubai, not Oxfordshire, not the UK, but in Dubai. We've got everything set up. The office is waiting. Ben flies out soon, and hopefully on the next issue of the podcast, Ben will be joining us from Dubai.
Yeah, I think it's been no secret that, when we took over the business 6 years ago, that when we wanted to expand, we realised that we needed to expand. We wanted to expand in another office. I'm not sure we realised 6 years ago that it was going to be 6,000 miles away, roughly, if it's about 6,000 miles away. So that's exciting. Ben, you're going to be out there,
I know. I mean, like I say, when we started toying with the idea, I think you hear of that and you think, we're down here in the countryside in Oxfordshire. It sounds a bit bizarre, but then the more you think about it, the more you think, we have been in the UK for 33 years. So, opening another office, be it, UK, be it international, it makes sense. I think it doesn't contradict or kind of have any negatives towards the work that we do. I think if the last year has taught us anything, it's that we can continue to work no matter where in the world we might be, whether it's someone's bedroom along the road or whether it's in Dubai on the other side of the world. So, it's just really exciting. I think it's such a fast-paced, moving city. Yeah. I think it's it's very innovative. Dubai strive to be the best. They've got the world's tallest building. They've got a 7-star hotel. Yeah. They want to strive to be the best, and we have that same attitude. So it kind of goes hand in hand with from not just the digital, but the design, the creative, everything that we do. It seems like a good place to position ourselves and to be, really. Yeah.
So what does your first week look like? And I know you're not there yet, but what's your first week going to be when you get off that plane and what's that going to look like in terms of ADS and your new life?
I'd say he needs to buy a fan.
Yeah, apart from being on the beach and
I was going to say, considering I got sunburn in 13 degrees this weekend, I don't think I think I'll be showering from the sun for the most part. I think it's really just getting used to the city, getting things together, and getting the business elements together. I mean, like I say, we've got an office sat there waiting, so it's just picking up the keys, picking up the equipment. But again, the world we're in means that we can have a computer and be set up and be back building websites within about an hour. So it's there's no real sort of trade-off of time there. So so first week's definitely going to be getting ready, getting used to it. Personal side of things is getting somewhere to live and food and all of those bits. But from a business side, it's like I say, it's doing that, and then straight away as quick as I can, just picking back up with the team and just make sure that, like I say, nothing's missed. Treat the next couple of weeks maybe as like a bit of a holiday, and then from that point onwards, it's picking back up, make sure the conversations carry on, everything we learnt during lockdown of remote working, putting that into practice, and make sure everyone here is fully kept in the loop with what I'm doing and what's going on out there, because it's not just a sole thing of me. It's the whole team's going to be involved in that, and how we can keep everyone in the loop and keep them involved as much as possible.
I mean, I think some of the research we've done, we recognise that, websites are what people are searching for out there. I mean, we have done some work on that, and, we just hope that we can be in the right place. And I think, the type of office that you've got, it's in the World Trade Centre, is it? The Dubai World Trade Centre, exciting. So, mingling with other people that are in there, hopefully we should be able to kind of get some good networking opportunities. I mean, I think we're on a course, or I'm on a call next week in some kind of, Zoom conference type thing from the World Trade Centre. So that should be quite exciting. And the new big shopping mall that's being built alongside it. And
I think as well, the more people that we kind of let know here, the more contacts they've got out in Dubai as well. It's really strange because you kind of think our decision is a bit insular, but once we start talking to people, clients, and just contacts that we've got, pretty much I'd say like 80% of them have mentioned contacts they've already got out there. So we'll really be trying to tap into those, as part of like the first month's plan, if you like, to just to make contact with them, just to get to know like how the city works, like who's who in the city, how they operate business wise in the city. And it's going to be really important that our kind of base here like gives us that kind of platform out there as well. So it's been so well received so far. We're absolutely buzzing to get going on it and just to see where it takes us, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be a challenge, won't it? But I think we, as I said, we wanted to have that next challenge, really. And I think setting up somewhere, another office, as I said, not realising it was going to be that far away, but I think it's a great opportunity and exciting. It was funny because, a couple of years ago, they were advertising the World Expo in Dubai. And I remember being at the football and thinking to myself, God, it'd be great to go out there. Now we will be there. So it'll be really interesting what we do, and hopefully we can get some of the guys out there from the team. But I'll say that quietly so they don't actually, know.
But it's an exciting, like I say, it's such an exciting time out there with that, like the expo coming that's going to last 7 months or whatever it is, just the way they do things is just so big and bold. And like I say, it's exactly what we want to do. It's what we're trying to do with the new branding, with the new website, and just the way we position ourselves. So like I say, it makes sense. I think the more we think about it, the more we talk about it, the more it seems to go hand in hand, and hopefully into the future will as well.
Definitely. And I think there'll be quite a lot of synergy between the two offices. It seems crazy because it's on the other side of the world, but just the more I speak to people about it, the more kind of links I can see.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's not a them and us office, is it? It is actually ADS as one, but actually just two different areas. So
because we got that experience, we've never, like I say, put ourselves into a niche. We've worked with everything from private schools to carpet shops to roof truss manufacturers, all sorts. You name a type of business, chances are we've probably in some capacity worked with them over the years. I think that helps us as well, because we've got such a wide range of experience and a vast array of businesses we work with that actually, like I say, positions us in a good place to go and meet no matter who it is out there. I'm sure we can deliver a great campaign, website, printed material, whatever it may be for them.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because we had the discussion about doing business cards, and I know that's a small element to what we do. We were thinking, should we get them and print them here? But actually, it's a starting point to go and get them out there, and you start meeting printers, for example, and find out what other people are doing. So, but also I know that you guys are both keen to do sporty things when you're out there as well, so that's another great opportunity to network with people. So
definitely. I mean, here, like sport has given me so many like contacts and friends and just a huge network of people. And I think like as soon as I get there, so my plan is obviously to try and fly out once a month. As soon as I can fly back in without having to quarantine, I want to be able to support, the venture and build my own network out there as well. So one of the first things I'll be doing is going along to the local paddle club, try and play squash, just to meet, local residents really. So it's not just about kind of the business side of things. We want to kind of try and enjoy it as well.
I can say we've got to remember to squeeze some work into all of this.
Thing is, it'd be so hot when you get out there, Ben, that you'll probably want to just stay in an office.
I'll have to head to the snow dome. Might be more my level.
Yeah. So explain the office itself. What does it look like? What is it? Where is it? Not necessarily where is it? It's obviously Dubai, but what does it what does it,
Yeah. So the office is in the Dubai World Trade Center, which is just outside of kind of Business Bay with Dubai, which is like downtown where, the hustle and bustle, the real businesses and the city comes alive, I guess. And then, our office is inside. We've got a private office within a co-working space, which we thought was a really good starting point for that networking element. There's so many other businesses and companies and startups and things that are all around us. It's kind of putting us right into the middle of them in such a great environment. I think having our own private office as well is fantastic because it sets us up well for meetings with clients, but also from, being able to liaise with people here, whether it's over a Zoom call, on Teams call with the guys here as well. It just positions us really strongly out there to start with. We could have gone and just worked off a laptop, but I think, if we're going to do this, we wanted to do it properly. We wanted to position ourselves the same way we do here. Like you say, that, they're not separate businesses. They are very much one and alike. So I think putting us that way in that office, it just is a real good starting point for us.
So you'll still be managing the team here as well as managing the team, managing the office in Dubai. So, even though you're doing, you're out there, you're still going to be doing, the sites here, dealing with the clients out here. So, so that'd be really good.
Yeah.
But also just to kind of just stress as well that, we still want to grow and expand Oxford ADS. We haven't stopped, and we've, in the last month, we've taken on 2 new members of staff, which is, really exciting.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time for us, really. It's coming out of lockdown. We want to be in a really strong position. We've invested here as well, like you're saying. So we've had a new business development manager who started with us in mid-March. We've got a new account manager who started with us early April. And then we've also on the lookout for another kind of junior digital marketing person. So that's just really to strengthen the team across the board. We're firmly, cemented on still growing our UK-based business, but, using Dubai as well as a new platform. It's a new challenge, and it's kind of just something that we've never done before. We were really lucky that we got offered the opportunity to take over a really well-established company. But it's kind of a new challenge now. It is a startup, but we've got the benefit, I suppose. We've got the backing of the team here. All the resources, all the processes in place.
I think it would be really good in one of the podcasts to actually speak to the original owner who set up the business like 32 years ago, and kind of get a comparison in terms of what marketing or an advertising agency was like 33 years ago to where it is now, and just kind of see the different, hear the differences. I think it will be amazing, won't it? What they, like sticking things on paper and, with sellotape and, just think it'd be really interesting.
It would just be unbelievable, really, because you probably wouldn't have ever even seen equipment like this.
Yeah.
Not being, I don't mean that any disrespectfully, but I just think it's a whole new level, really, of kind of tech.
Yeah. I mean, the world we live in, just it advances so quickly, doesn't it? I mean, and I even think that from my time here, I started just over 6 years ago as an apprentice.
Yeah.
And I was the only digital person. I was kind of trying to figure out as I went along, and now we've got a whole digital team, and I'm going to be heading up an office on the other side of the world. It's kind of just that kind of whole, I guess, learning curve and timeline of events is just pretty insane to think that's only in 6 years. So it's with the websites, we could wake up tomorrow and Apple release a new iPad, new iMac, and we've got to change how we build the websites. It's always evolving, it's always developing. I think it goes back to what we said the last year of everyone shifting towards digital. It fast tracked that timeline so much that we can't afford to be left behind. But then at the same time, that's when you look back and you go, God, how much has it changed in this short period?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So Kelly, I know you've also you've obviously worked all the way through lockdown, which has been great. You've also moved house recently and set up an office in Dubai. Out of those two, what's the most stressful?
Probably setting the office up, to be honest. No, not in terms of like physically hard work. I think it's like the mental side of it, thinking not necessarily is it the right thing, but actually just probably having the balls just to go for it. Yeah. It started off as a crazy idea, a bit like the drone, a bit like this podcast equipment. Yeah. And in our usual kind of style, we just run with it and let's see where it takes us.
Yeah. The drone thing makes me laugh because I remember having a conversation with you, Ben, gosh, it must be 3 years ago, where I actually saw on telly the racing those drones in that around a track, and we were chatting about it and we went, it'd be great to do that. not thinking we were going to do it to do drone videos. And then before we know it, our drone and video has just gone massive, hasn't it? So, it's those little ideas that you have over walking to a Christmas party. And then you kind of, before you know it, you've kind of brought one at Christmas and we're off, doing that kind of stuff.
And I think even if you look at like the use of like video and drone content now, it's just massively important. Yeah. Like all the stats show, it's so much more engaging. People buy into it more. You can really get across the personality of your business just through the simple use of video, drone, photography. It really does help businesses.
Yeah, it's definitely the conversations we've been having a lot more. And like I say, it's, a few years ago, we were just trying to convince people to come away from their old traditional coded website into a content management system website, so we can, it makes life a lot easier for everyone to update, and they don't have to use us, they can do it themselves and things. So, and again, that conversation has evolved from that to now where we're talking about learning management platforms, and we're producing, full training courses for companies online. Yeah. And it's kind of, again, even just in what we offer, that's also developed so quickly over such a short period of time, because again, we don't want to be left behind. We don't want to be just carrying on. We want to be ahead of things. So.
Yeah. So do you think, Ben, that when you are in Dubai, is it around verbally telling people how you're getting on, or is it more picture based, or is it a bit of both? We could say ADS is look at Ben in Dubai sunning himself, or not that we would do that, but you know what I mean. But is it more about having this to kind of like visualize and go, this is what I'm doing today, for example, or is it more, what I'm trying to say is there a benefit of either doing visually and talking, or is it now all about youngsters want to see it all on Instagram or TikTok or whatever I
think it varies, and I think especially from a B2B standpoint, and you look at LinkedIn, you think how people promote content on there. I think it all comes down to how people absorb content, and I think we're not naive to the fact that everyone, if anyone's listening to this podcast, or if someone's seeing our post on LinkedIn, certain people will absorb it via video and photo content. Some people still like to read long form blog content. Yeah. So for myself, I really want to, just from a personal standpoint, really, is just document the journey. Like I say, I started as an apprentice, I head up the digital team, and now I'm going to be running an office. It's quite insane. Yeah. But I think it's going to be interesting for me to look back on in 5 years' time and go, wow, remember when I started Dubai, and hopefully now, who knows, we might have more offices, we might have more staff. We don't know where we're going to be, but I think that'll be really exciting to look back on. And I think from a LinkedIn perspective and from a social media perspective, it'd be really useful for people to see that journey. Whether it be, like I say, through video content, which I love to produce anyway, so hopefully there'll be lots of that. But again, blog content on, what's been going on, what my learnings from, trying to run an office and buying equipment, setting up, and then, when we hire our first staff member in Dubai, and all of these elements, it's going to be a really interesting journey that hopefully people want to see through all sorts of mediums, really.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's a great, good opportunity. I think it'd be really exciting. I think it's a good challenge for us, and we see where it takes us. So
hopefully, we can inspire other people to kind of take that plunge as well.
Yeah.
Even if they learn from our mistakes.
I'm sure it won't be a mistake. I'm sure you know.
But yeah, you never know, do you? Lots of people are, let's say like excited for us, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. So,
I think that's been really reassuring for me as well. I think because, when we first kind of agreed that this is the way we're going, it was very much, right, we're doing it. We've got an office, we've got a business license. Yeah. You're going to a city where you know nobody, to live on your own. Yeah. In a whole new world. Yeah. It's like, it's a bit, I think I got my nerves out quite early, but then I think because of the excitement of everyone else and feeling that from everyone else, and the excitement they have, and all the opportunities that we keep talking about and hinting at and kind of coming to terms with, that there's, plenty of opportunity there. I think now, like, all those nerves are just gone. It's just excitement. I just want to be there, just pushing it and doing what we've been working towards for months. So
are you going to push just the digital side out there, or are you looking at actually doing the same, a full service as we do in Oxford? How are you looking to do that? Is that the reason why you're going to go out, Kelly, every so often as well, to kind of push the marketing side, or is it just going to be digital, do we think?
I think it kind of comes back to what we were saying at the start of why what we do works is because we look at it as a whole picture. So I think if we went and we limited ourselves to just digital or just websites, for example, because that's kind of my speciality, I guess. Yeah. I think we'd be kind of taken away from what we do and taking the shine off of what we do. Like I said, I think when we look at a website, we look at, right, how is this going to drive traffic from social? How is this going to be found in Google search? how does your print tie into this to make sure the brand feels like, it's continuous throughout. I think it'd be detrimental to what makes us and makes our campaigns work so well if we didn't look at that. So I think, it will be, there's going to be elements we have to pick up. We're going to have to source, print suppliers and things and things like that.
Sure.
But because we've got the fallback of the entire team here, we've still got Ruth who can produce the fantastic graphic design, whether it's in Oxford or whether it's in Dubai. We've got Reese who can produce fantastic online blog content. We've got Chessie who manages those relationships of talking to clients and make sure the things that we say are going to happen. I wouldn't want to ever take away from any of that, because like I say, I think that's what makes us do what we do so well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a couple of restrictions that we can't do because of our license and the government restrictions in Dubai. So we can't offer photography or videography. But aside from that, to be honest, we will be looking to offer like the full service package. And that's what our business license will allow us to do. So we've set up as a limited company within a free zone, which is the World Trade Center. So we're all set really.
Okay, I know time's getting on, but how did you actually set up the office out there? Did you do it independently? What did you do? How did you go about it?
So obviously we had no clue really like what the process would be when we first started talking about it. We had a few conversations with contacts here, and we got in touch with a company who are based out in Dubai who literally helped us with the entire process.
They've been fantastic. Like I say, I think we could have done it ourselves, but to make sure the right laws and legislations and all things go through properly, I think we'd have been probably would have gone a bit much for us to kind of try and do all of that ourselves. So they've been fantastic. We just run through them, give them all the information they need. They tell us what they need from us, and that relationship's kind of ongoing as well. Just because it's set up, it doesn't end now. They've reached out to us to sort out visas when we get there. We'll be liaising with them to get the office keys and things. It's it's been really easy. To be honest, it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I know. Seems too easy, but
I think also we were kind of like conscious, weren't we, of like the cultural differences. So like we've always said, like if we're going to ever do something, we want to do it properly. So in order to do that and to comply with everything and be respectful of the laws, you had that peace of mind with the company. Is that we are doing everything, we're doing it in the right order. We're not going to have any issues when Ben lands and he gets through customs and stuff. So it's just reassuring really, and they were really helpful, to be honest. So it's gone really well,
especially at the moment with like the pandemic and with who's allowed in and who's not. It's like, say, it's been reassuring to know that there's someone there sorting out and looking out for you before you've even got there. So.
No, I think we've done it the right way, so that's good. Okay, so obviously, we hope we're going to get lots of listeners to our podcast. That will be fantastic. Lots of subscribers. Is that what we say? That's what we call them, don't we? So that would be great if we can do that. And I think, so how do you see the podcast structuring going forward? What do you guys think that, it may not always be you two that are going to be there. It could be other people, but where do you see the podcast actually going over the next let's just say the next couple of months to start with?
I think it just gives us a great platform to share our insights, our industry updates, our knowledge with whoever wants to listen, really. Like we always say when we work with new clients, we're completely transparent, we're going to do the best for the client. And this podcast just gives us an opportunity to just put it out there. Yeah. So I think, we've got plenty of topics that we can talk about, whether it be digital, whether it be design, whether it be marketing trends, social media trends, any insights into the industry. Then, each week we'll pick a topic. I think in the first instance, we've got enough resources in-house to deliver that. But it'd be great, as you say, to get kind of guests in as well. It'd be great to get Ollie from behind the camera to talking about digital insights and just other team members, really.
Yeah. I think it is. I think, again, kind of like I alluded to earlier, we have these conversations anyway. Yeah. So if someone was recording, I'm sure they'd make pretty interesting podcasts for anyone in the marketing world. But we just don't take it further than that. So it's going to be really interesting to see, this morning, for example, we had a 20-minute conversation on the design of the new iMac. What does it look like? All these new features coming in. And how does it affect what we do in terms of social media advertising or how websites display on this new iMac and things. So there's a lot of elements there that, whether they be clients or whether they be just people looking to introduce marketing to their business, that will affect them, and that we know because we're in the industry and we're talking about them on a daily basis, that people might want to be aware of. And then, like Kelly said, I think it'd be really interesting to get people in. I think especially in Dubai, it'd be really interesting to get some other business owners out there, other startups or established businesses, and see what their journey looked like. How did they get from the UK to there? Or if they're locals, how did they start there? It's going to be, I think I think we're all a bit awkward and nervous on this first one, but I think we'll all hopefully grow into it, and it will become something that's, quite interesting. It's going to be interesting to look back on and see that journey, but also it's going to be, something that we can hopefully use to help people and develop all sorts of things in marketing.
Excellent. I think our biggest challenge at the moment this week is having our headshots tomorrow for the new website, and trying to work out how we can do a group one on Friday, making sure that we are socially distant, but and what to wear, because I don't think I've worn proper work clothes for well over a year, so that'll be a challenge in itself. But anyway, thanks guys. I think it's been really useful for our first one. I hope any people that are listening, has found it insightful, as it's insights from the shed. As I mentioned, we are looking to develop it. So please feel free, if anybody has any comments or anything they want to say about today's podcast, we're more than happy to listen and take feedback. Or if you want any information on the services that we provide, again, get in touch with us. We'd be more happy. Otherwise, until next time, enjoy. Thanks, guys.
Thanks
very much.
Bye.